There was once a boy who lived in a small village where life was simple but often very difficult. His family was extremely poor, and most days they struggled to find enough food to eat. The boy wore the same old clothes every day, patched again and again by his mother, and he had no shoes on his feet. Even though his life was full of hardship, he had a heart full of dreams. He wanted to change his life and the life of his family. He wanted to prove that no matter how poor someone is, with honesty, patience, and determination, they can rise above their situation and achieve greatness. The boy spent his childhood working small jobs to help his parents. He would fetch water for neighbors, carry loads in the market, or clean shops for a little money. Sometimes people paid him with food instead of coins, and he accepted it with gratitude. Every single coin he earned, he saved carefully. While other children played games, he was busy working, saving, and planning for a future that seemed very far away. People often laughed at him, saying he would always remain poor because he was born poor, but he never allowed their words to break his spirit. One day, he gathered enough savings to start something of his own. It was nothing big, only a small wooden cart with a few items to sell: candies, biscuits, and tea. Standing under the hot sun all day, he called out to customers with a smile on his face. Business was slow, and sometimes he sold nothing at all. But he did not give up. He cleaned his cart every morning, arranged his items neatly, and treated each customer with kindness and respect. Slowly, people began to notice his honesty. They saw that he never cheated with weights, he never lied about the quality of his goods, and he always greeted everyone warmly. Trust began to grow, and with trust came customers. After months of hard work, his cart started bringing in more money. He did not spend the extra money on luxuries for himself, but saved it again. His dream was bigger than just a cart. He wanted to open a shop, something permanent, something that would provide stability for his family. When his savings became enough, he rented a small corner shop in the village. It was nothing fancy, just 4 walls and a roof, but to him it was a palace of opportunity. He filled the shelves with basic items that villagers needed daily. His days became longer, starting early in the morning and ending late at night, but he was happy because he was building his dream step by step. The villagers soon came to trust him completely. They knew if they had no money today, he would still give them goods and allow them to pay later. They knew his shop was always clean and his products were fresh. Children liked him because he always gave them a smile and sometimes an extra candy. Slowly, his shop became the most popular one in the village. Competitors grew jealous, but he never let jealousy distract him. Instead of fighting them, he focused on improving his own work. He learned how to keep records, how to buy goods in bulk for lower prices, and how to treat customers so they would always return. As years passed, his shop grew into a bigger store. He expanded from selling small household items to clothes, shoes, and tools. His family's condition also changed. His parents no longer had to worry about food, and his younger siblings could go to school instead of working. The boy who once had nothing now had stability, but he did not stop. He had tasted the power of hard work, and he wanted to see how far it could take him. He began traveling to the city to buy goods at cheaper rates and bring them back to the village. Eventually, he opened a second store in the nearby town. His business grew larger and larger because he never abandoned his principles of honesty, patience, and respect for others. People began to admire him. They no longer laughed at his dreams but instead pointed to him as an example for their own children. He was invited to community gatherings and was treated with respect. But even with success, he never became arrogant. He remembered the days when he had nothing, when he had to sleep on an empty stomach, when he had been mocked for being poor. That memory kept him humble. He used part of his earnings to help poor families, paying school fees for children who could not afford it, giving free food to widows, and supporting small businesses so that others could also rise. The boy had now grown into a young man, and his journey from poverty to success was a story that inspired everyone around him. He proved that circumstances of birth do not decide the future, that determination and patience can change the course of life. He worked not for quick money but for steady growth. He built his life brick by brick, never losing hope during failures, never taking shortcuts, and never betraying the trust of the people who believed in him.